Ka'ala, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawa Shah, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawa Shah, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawa Shah, Dewada, Abba, Baba, Kadash. I'd like to give the honors, elders, to the elders apostles, a great millstone that teaches truth, which we know is 100% truth. Do a lesson today about us going into the kingdom. I was watching the brothers from GMS, I think out of Dallas, their camp, and they were going into how once we come into the kingdom, we're going to be rulers over the earth, and all these other nations, going to be up under us. There's not going to be any salvation for these other heathens, man, because you have some Israelites groups out here now. For some reason, they're teaching that type of doctrine, but that kind of lets you to believe that either they've been paid for, or it's just the spirit that's working against them. They're not of the elect, and they're sent to be a stumbling block to the 2/3 of our people. Genesis chapter 3, verse 5. For God, which talking about Yahweh, doth know that the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open. Then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil, lowercase God. But we're going to be like gods, man. That's why we had to go through what we went through. That's why it goes back to Genesis, when we took a bite of the apple, which is not literal. It's taking on the philosophy and doing the things of these other nations, being like these other nations, being heathens like these other nations. And by us doing that and committing sin, we suffered and we learned, and we know both now the effects of not following after these laws, statutes, commandments. So therefore we brought death onto us. And so when we come back in the righteous rulership, we want to be like gods over these other nations, because we're going to be judges over them. And we're going to know the difference, the purpose of having good and evil. The purpose of understanding good and evil. So therefore we can push these laws, statutes, commandments. They're going to be, these other nations are going to have to fall up under our authority, which is going to be the authority over the whole land. These laws, statutes, commandments up under Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And we're going to be like, you have courthouses here. We're going to be like those judges in those courthouses that's going to make judgment, on these other nations. We're going to rule with the iron rod, as Scripture tells us. Man, this thing is. So we look forward to that day, man. Like the brothers were saying, here in this kingdom, man, it up under Esau Edom, man, it's just it's hell. It's hell, man. It's hell on earth. Having sex could be a death sentence, or a lifelong infirmity that you have to deal with. Dealing with with the women, because right now the women are definitely not how they're supposed to be. They're all over the place, because a lot of them follow after the ways of the serpent. A lot of our people as well, but mainly most of the 2/3 will be a lot of our women. And our women are going to be in righteous order when the Lord makes his return. We don't have to worry about what foods is not bioengineered, are not made in the lab or 3D printed. Those things, only a devil could think of something, create something like that, man, which we know Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai has gave us everything that we need here on this earth already. It doesn't have to be tampered with. Everything here has been tainted, man. It has been corrupted upon these devils that rule over us. But let's see, it's going to hit that point, man. We look forward to the kingdom coming, man. This place is hell on earth, especially for you Israelites, those of us that's in this truth, because it's a blessing and a curse, because we can see what's going on. We can see how these devils with their mask off. We see them for who they are. And we see where this thing is headed. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse as long as these heathens continue to stay in rulership. And that's why the Lord said he's going to speed up the time. 2025 has flown by, and here we are in 2026. Because if he don't speed up the time, the devil is going to totally destroy the whole earth. And that's talking about us in it. Let me pull that scripture up real quick. The Lord shall speed up. KJV. Now say Matthew 24 and 22. The book of St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. We'll go back to 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And so, Lord will, we are the elect, that those of us that's in this truth, that we're able to endure to the end, man, that we may be saved out of it. Therefore, we won't have to die, and we can be transferred over into the new kingdom and receive those new bodies, man. So that's what we look forward to, man, Lord making his return. Let me hit verse 30 real quick. And then shall appear signs of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall the times of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of earth with the power of great glory. And then he shall send his angels with great sounding of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven unto the other. So we look forward to that day, man, the Lord's return, man, to gather us up out of this hellhole that we in, in the times that we in. So Lord wills that affirm with that, say shalom.